This NFC West Division Preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon. Score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with $8,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is offering you a chance to win $15 million in prizes with Best Ball Mania 4. Use promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. We're also brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on any college football bet. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP.
This is Brian Bosworth, a.k.a. The Boz, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, brother. Peace out. Boz out.
Long, Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Over. Check.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog.
We're back in the NFL streets. B, we are free of the contamination of Colby Dent.
Oh yeah,
Hazmat team was in here early, scrubbing it down. Whole table got wiped down with alcohol.
Yeah, Colby out sick.
What
But
the fuck is this guy doing? What I mean, I don't. This probably won't get back to him because he doesn't listen to anyone else except for himself. But I mean, who the fuck gets sick right now? Talk about a guy going to Vegas. You're rock hard. You go up to the room and then you just fall asleep. That's Colby. That's Colby getting sick this week.
Maybe we have to dial him down to just like 60 or 70 team previews, Ryan. We may have overworked the database. We may have broken the mainframe.
If we were to pull back the curtain and allow people to see what actually causes Colby to get run down, it would really blow people's minds. So we'll save that for another
Benedict
episode.
Antold saying he's thinking of changing his name to COVID Colby. Maybe a new character for me.
Oh no! You saying Colby was fucking around was he back to his bat soup ways?
He's got the latest variant.
I
guess if you're gonna get the latest variant, get it right before football season. But it is football season. We just knocked out part 1 of our college football picks podcast. We are going to be doing a college football picks week 1 part 2 episode tomorrow night, breaking down the Saturday, Sunday, Monday games. But Ryan, we're here talking NFC West.
Yeah, and before you start, I do have a pitch for the NFC West. As you'll notice, I left the Wazoo helmet on the desk. We don't have an Oregon State mini helmet. Maybe someone can help us out with that. But I would like to pitch to the NFC West. Why not take on 2 new teams, Washington State and Oregon State?
Or do we have Arizona?
Do
we have Arizona? The Arizona Cardinals join the Pac-12.
Oh wow, it's a trade. Why don't we just make a trade?
I think that I would rather see Washington State than the Arizona Cardinals in the Pac-12. They just announced, or no, there's the Arizona Cardinals are privately saying Kyler Murray may not play this year. Yeah, no fucking shit. Who was? Ryan, I mean, I don't mean to put you on blast, but do you have any shares of Kyler Murray?
Too many.
Really? I thought we were lockstep, but he's obviously not.
Because I was drawn into the idea that having some teams where you grab him in the 15th, 16th, 7th, like late, you're not investing a ton. This is not like catching an injury to a first, second, third round guy you're all in on, like say Saquon Barkley. This is okay. That was a bad choice. Every Kyler team has 3 quarterbacks. So not the worst thing. And what I would say is where I actually made the most investment in Kyler is in some managed stuff I've already done. Threw him into a team with Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts as a late backup. Now it's easy to cut him, I guess. What I'm confused about is how the NFL is going to handle this. Cause I don't think we've ever seen a more brazen attempt to tank in the National Football League. And how will the players react to this? Because Jonathan Gannon is a guy who you've clowned very publicly. I think when you watch him, you wonder if he's going to be a leader of men, and you wonder if he
100% no,
happened into a situation where there was a lot of veteran leadership on a team, and his scheme just clicked for them, or maybe it didn't, and they were great in spite of him. But I want, like, what is he, just a patsy?
He might be.
Is he the guy that goes away when they say, okay, we're going to take Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley?
The NFL is generally tank free, but or at least like a season long tank. We've never really seen a true season long tank.
Let's just hop into it. Do we have anything have to happen before we start? Because I have scathing hot takes.
Brian, we get to talk about DraftKings. Where's your crown, King? It's over at DraftKings. I mean, these division previews and team previews have been awesome. Huge part of it is the incredible menu of selections that DraftKings has available. I mean, Tyler Algier to lead the NFC South in rushing yards at 65-1 that Kramer gave out yesterday. That's only available on DraftKings. There's a bunch of great bets you can only find on DraftKings, and of course, college football week 1 is here. $200 in bonus bets instantly. All you got to do is bet $5 on college football. Are you kidding me? How can you not be signed up over at DraftKings? Get in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code SGP. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code SGP. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Oh my God, we have a costume change debuting here.
Hey, it's my crown. What do you think?
It's a little sloppy, but it definitely works.
Former
scuba master.
Wow, how dare you? How dare you? This is. Don't take the secrets away from the team and behind the scenes, making it all happen. Yeah, we need a crown. I'm picturing one of those like "Hey girl, hey" crowns for our king crowns. I feel like our king crown should be hilarious. Why do we not have crowns yet? There's a crown on the logo. I'm just waiting. I'm giving you ample time to hit the crown tee or the crown ball off the tee. We need crowns, Sean. I'm saying we need crowns. They need to be bedazzled, bejeweled, very like.
You said we need "Hey girl, hey" crowns, and then looked at me like I knew what crown you were talking about.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to play a little ping pong. But is the chat lit? I see it must have your attention, Hunter, or you're playing blackjack.
No, Hunter is saying, fellas, catching a live show. Can we get a timeline on how many years it is before Trey Lance is out of the league? That would be a fun game to play.
What do you mean? Well, he's walked into
kind of out of the league already.
He's walked into a starting role.
Yeah.
If you ask Dak,
look out. Dak is. I think 3 years from now we will not be discussing Trey Lance. Well, I still will be.
Wow.
I'm still waiting for that Trey Lance guy to pay $50 to the Eagles Autism Foundation. I've been following his account. Hasn't tweeted. He hasn't updated his Twitter profile, which says Trey Lance and Brock Purdy gang.
I'm willing to.
What a sad profile.
I'd be willing to. I think we should get some Trey Lance jerseys to sign for someone.
Okay. And Grover the dog, as much as it pains me. Wow. Is that Ryan Real Money Kramer and Sean Even Money Green?
Oh,
you know.
Pew 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 pew.
I mean, going back to my blackjack mistake. A guy can't make a mistake. Apologize. Just won't move
right
on.
Before the football season. No one's moving on from this.
Everyone's laser focused. So we were talking before the
we
were talking Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals just got rid of Colt McCoy. I was kind of not to toot my own horn. I don't do that very often, but I was mentioning Colt McCoy was dealing with an injury through the entire training camp and preseason. Was
it writer's block? Yeah, I mean he's got maybe the Cardinals didn't like that he was doing content. I gotta ask.
Colt McCoy's doing content
for Underdog.
Oh, okay.
Pay attention, Sean.
Sorry, I missed.
Yeah,
that.
I mean he basically replaced the show that the now coach for the Carolina Panthers, Josh McCown, did.
Okay.
Last year, Colt McCoy is the new Josh McCown, which metaphorically speaking,
but now he's not on a roster.
More similar.
Although maybe he would get signed. he is a veteran quarterback. I mean, if Josh Dobbs is getting signed, I think Colt McCoy has a chance. I don't understand. I feel like the injury was pretty unclear. So now, and what's even funnier is that Jonathan Gannon won't admit or announce who the starting quarterback is for Week 1. Which, come on, dude, it's the NFL. Like, people are going to figure out
competitive advantage. Competitive advantage. You're trying to lose the game. You better be a good actor. I don't know if he's got maybe some improv chops.
The interesting thing is we went from Colt McCoy starting, or at least presumed starter, to question mark to they're bringing in a quarterback off the street, Josh Dobbs,
very smart quarterback,
wasn't a part of the training camp, took no preseason snaps. Seems like maybe he's the starter. David Blow also on the roster there. The line has not moved. DraftKings has kept the line. I mean, some places at 6.5. It's at 7 now. It's crazy that I understand Colt McCoy, a banged up Colt McCoy, not great, but the fact that the NFL Week 1 line hasn't shifted at all was a little weird.
What does that tell you?
I think they didn't have any respect for Colt McCoy.
I think even if you don't, I think they put them all in the same bucket. I think you're right, and I think that's probably not an accurate statement. I mean, Colt McCoy is a guy who has operated.
Clayton Tune, of course, the other guy that has a shot.
But Clayton Tune was a hot thing until they started playing real football, and Clayton Tune didn't have the best playing real football segment. Josh Dobbs, obviously smart enough. He's going to be in space one day. But I don't know if that means he's going to be able to, do anything in spite of this tremendously bad team around.
And again, you're coming in this late into the process. I mean, again, obviously Dobbs already behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, but dude, football guys are dumb. He's like a legit smart guy. So
he can probably pick it up. But I would still probably go Tune because I don't know, the guy seems like a bit of a dog, and I know he didn't look amazing in the preseason, but I saw a couple drives where you're like, all right, you can talk yourself into it. But again, who knows what the hell the Arizona Cardinals are doing, Ryan?
Well, what do you mean? Who knows? We are in the league of the NBA now, and unfortunately, we saw the Cardinals fans who are younger start doing the NBA thing: tank process, get the first 2 picks. Like, I think people think if the Cardinals are bad enough, they get the first 2 picks no matter what the Texans do. I don't know if they understand how trades work.
No,
it's actually the Texans pick, so watch out for the rookie of the year to ruin that for you. But this is the most blatant tank we've seen. I mean, when's the last time you can remember a tank this? I mean, I would throw Joe Judge sneaking Colt McCoy, or I'm sorry, Jake Fromm on 3rd down. But I mean, when's the last time you can remember a team doing when you cut your starter who got all the 1 reps in training? It's not like you were planning for this. You legitimately railroaded your old team by having a different guy practice the whole summer when you knew you were going to do this. This is no different than tampering. I mean, this is no different. So I would imagine they're going to be on the hot seat for a draft pick, maybe. Maybe they lose this pick that would be
hilarious. God bless Roger Goodell. So for me, the first future we'll give out for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, Ryan, when we did this, the Cardinals win total was 4.5. I went 5-12.
Me too.
I think the win total is now down to 3.5.
It's down to 3.5. Plus 120 to the under. I
still have a couple wins I have to adjust to get to that magic number of 262. So I am going to dock them another win. But I do think hilariously,
we got to go 2 wins to get them under, right?
No, I'm going to 4-13. I'm not going to 3-14.
But you would still just
3.5 is an insane win total. I actually think if I had to repick it now, I would still go over 3.5. However,
Sean, we might not have any understanding of how bad this team could be.
That's also true.
You've completely. I've bought into your concept that Jonathan Gannon is not a leader of men.
Yes.
So if you have a very young coaching staff without leaders, and a front office that is making moves to fuck this young coaching staff, and they start complaining about their bosses with the players, and the players think that's okay to complain about the coaches to the other players, you're going to have mayhem very quickly. This is a basic what not to do in an office place situation. This is when the team is showing them, hey, we're not trying to win. Go get some tape. like go play for tape this year. These are grown fucking men. No one's playing for fucking tape.
I got Arizona.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
I got Arizona under 1.5 division wins. You can get that at +100.
Yeah, I thought about coming in here and saying take away all their wins.
0-17.
But I'm gonna say take away 2 of their wins.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think they're trying to win. Clayton Tune is not a viable option.
You have them 3-14.
We're gonna go 3-14.
Okay. You know what? You talked me into it. I'll go 3-14.
I think there's a floor of. I mean, again, when I look at under 3.5 at +120, and I can still get fewest wins +250. I don't think the floor for anyone else. Like if they're under 3.5 wins, they're probably the fewest wins.
So wait, what is the fewest wins?
+250.
All right.
So why not
I'll switch to
take
that.
Fewest wins? We've not.
If they do win games,
Sean,
it might be in the division.
We haven't seen a team try to tank. Jonathan Gannon is not telling you which quarterback because he doesn't know, because he's in a shitty situation. We've never seen a team go into a season with a 5th round rookie and a guy they picked up last week.
It is insane.
You have a running back that will inevitably run down. You have a wide receiver that has a history of underperforming on the outside in Hollywood Brown. You got an old vet in Zach. You think Zach Ertz is coming to work every day, busting his ass? I've heard
Zach Ertz. Yeah,
I've heard Chris Long say too many times how much the vets didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it on a shitty team. I've heard too many other vets say that same thing. I just, this is the most obvious tank job I've ever seen.
Tomcat's saying, better question. Who are the 3 wins? Yeah. I mean, you look through the schedule. I see where you're coming from.
We promised we wouldn't do this.
No, we're not allowed to go back through the schedule.
Holy shit. Where are the wins?
It's a great question. But yeah, I think fewest wins, you're right, is the best way to play it. Cause you could be 4-13 and still have the fewest wins.
You know, what's funny is, that their 0-17 price is probably comical. It's 16 to 1.
16 to 1,
16 to 1 for them to not win a game. That's not,
that's insane. That's happened once in the NFL.
For reference, the Texans and the Colts are 40 to 1, which even that price seems ridiculous. All right.
What about props? For me, there's one guy. Well, there's 2 guys. Trey McBride, he's trying. Although, again, we'll see what the quarterback.
Are you sure?
Yeah, dude, he's a 2nd-year player. Ryan, I worry you're drinking too much of the NBA Kool-Aid. Like these guys aren't going to be trying.
No, you misheard what I said. Okay. What I think is going to happen. I think you're right. Players always play.
Yeah.
I think the problem is, and they'll get rid of all the vets, but you have too many old guys that can potentially be poisonous. And I think when you cut the quarterback like that, you're sending an interesting message about how you're willing to communicate with your team. Transparency. Like, what is our mission here? Our mission is to win games. Then why did we practice with this guy all fucking off season? And then you cut him right before the season. That sends a very dangerous message to grown ass men. So
no, I agree.
Kaiser White, one of the guys who will be bought in because he came with the coach.
Yeah.
Gonna be on the field a lot. 50 to 1, most tackles and assists.
For the team.
No.
Oh, for the league. Okay.
They're going to be the worst team in the league. They're going to be on the field the most.
If you just look at time of possession, it probably makes sense to.
Shouldn't be 50 to 1. This is going to be the worst team we've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, I hear you. Like Trey McBride's a fun player, but I don't. They have to be able to throw the ball, Sean. Josh Dobbs was all right in that playoff game, but come on, you think he's going to be able to do it over the course of a season?
Yeah,
that's why I like Hollywood Brown. I loved in the 6th round. I'm completely out of. I don't need any more Hollywood Brown shares at this point. No more Trey McBride. No more anything on that team.
Yeah, I mean, even the Trey McBride. You're right. Like at some point, it gets to be a bit ugly. But I'm still James Conner. I think this is just going to piss James Conner off more.
Oh, he's gonna get 30 carries again.
I know.
I love it.
I like the James Conner stuff. Right now over on DraftKings, they don't have the division markets up, but when that flashes James Conner to lead the NFC West in rushing yards, I'm going to be in on that. I mean, what do you think that price?
They have it.
Oh, they do. Okay, what is James Conner to lead the NFC West in rushing?
It's blank. Never mind.
Okay,
they have the title. They have no odds. I would imagine, like, I mean, obviously McCaffrey is in the division.
Yeah,
But you have a situation.
There's a world where he doesn't get their rushing yards.
I would say James Conner is behind McCaffrey, behind Akers, and then you have Ken Walker's probably similar odds.
Yeah, so I
maybe longer even.
I'll
than
just
Ken
throw
Walker.
out now over 6.5 rushing touchdowns for James Conner because I think that's a good spot for him. But yeah, I mean I think James Conner is going to be, if there's any offense in Arizona, it's going to be James Conner.
Yeah, and I just think it's going to be can he handle it? Can he get through the season? Because he might have a massive year, but again, like it's almost like the front office is hoping he gets hurt. Or it's the last year on the lease and you just you're like, I'm going to drive the shit out of this thing before.
That's what it feels like. I mean, they can't just kneel the ball. They have to call some plays. And I think just running James Conner 30 times a game.
Yeah. It's like your buddy's kid who didn't know that he has to shift out his first gear, just driving on the freeway. That's James Conner this year. Probably
it is. Kaysen Hightower is pointing out, he's like, imagine being Ertz asking out of Philly right now. Like right before they get good. I mean,
remind me, he asked out. What was his wife playing on a NWSL team out west?
No, it was just more like clearly Dallas. They were going to pay Dallas Goedert. He was the next guy. I mean, I don't think Zach Ertz wanted to be a backup tight end. He wanted to go somewhere where he thought he had a chance to compete. Yeah. So Arizona was that destination. Very unfortunate for Zach Ertz. I mean, I think at the time when the Eagles traded him to Arizona, they thought like, okay, this is a good situation. You're going to be the number one tight end. They have a young quarterback. They've paid a bunch of money in Kyler Murray. Like I thought they were doing right by Zach Ertz, which is hilarious in hindsight.
Organization from Philly sends a man out to the desert. Sometimes it's not for good reasons.
Kaysen pointing out the Cards were 7-0 at that point when they traded him.
Real mush.
Yes.
All right.
Maybe Zach Ertz is the problem.
What? So yeah, I mean.
So officially, I've moved down to what am I?
Officially, we both have. We're
both at 3 and 14 now. So I think I've used. Yeah. I'm good on adjusting my wins.
You have now a 1-win deficit. I have a 2-win deficit so I have to find 2 more.
Oh, you
wins.
have to add a win. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Which we'll probably take care of that business in division since the Cardinals are not winning a divisional game. All right, let's move along to the Rams, Sean.
Let's do it.
Which, as the summer has moved along, I think more and more people are looking into the situation. You're seeing a lot of these odds shorten up, especially Kupp, Stafford. This Rams division price though is still lingering, as is their win total 6.5. You went 10-7. I went 8-9.
Yeah,
which didn't feel super optimistic, but still got way over. I absolutely think that the Rams are a team you at least need to peek at the odds market. Like the case for the Rams is they're shallow, and that if they get hurt, it could potentially derail quickly with a couple key positions.
No, honestly, to me, it's similar like the Tampa Bay Bucks, where
very great comp.
I think the division is somewhat up for grabs. You have a veteran quarterback with a bunch of talent around him. Obviously, Stafford is better than Baker Mayfield. You have a guy on the defensive side of the ball that just can wreck shop. You have a coach, as much as all-time soup actor Sean McVay can get.
Remember his performance in Hard Knocks? He was. I mean, he
great reality star.
He walked so Aaron Rodgers could run.
Yeah. So I think there's a world where this Rams team is pretty good, and I'm just looking for ways to fade the hype surrounding San Francisco and Seattle, that everyone's just completely all in on them. I'm not like completely out on the Seahawks. And again, I just don't think the 49ers in Seattle deserve to be such bigger favorites than the rest of than the Rams, really. Like I think it's a 3-team race, and I think it's way closer than the 10-1 division price I would suggest. So yeah, give me the Rams to win the division at 10-1. I understand they're very thin. And again, I almost kind of like the division in some ways better than the over 6.5, because I think if it goes right, it goes right in a pretty nice way. Whereas if it goes wrong, maybe they're just like, they totally blow it up and whatever. And again, if Stafford gets hurt, Stetson Bennett has had a couple moments, but we'll see.
So my take is gimme make playoffs. It's the NFC.
Okay. Yeah. I don't, that's actually probably better than,
I think they're just like last year. Total. There are some teams that got in that people are like, wow, how could they possibly get in? It's plus 310. So, I I think it's certainly. It just seems like if they hit, they're going to be good enough to be in the playoffs. And while I probably would just say like, yeah, I guess make playoffs at 3-1 compared to over 6. And I mean that's a narrow window, right? They could get in with eight or 9 wins. And so I like the make playoffs at plus 310 better than the over. But the more I look at the over, the more that I think I have to smash that too. Cause smash again, the card that's 2 wins.
Yeah.
So basically they have to in their other 15 games, they have to win 4, go over 4.5. When you think about it like that, it seems very simple. What's your prop?
My prop, again, Aaron Donald came back for a reason. Aaron Donald could have rode off into the sunset. So give me Aaron Donald, defensive player of the year at 25-1.
Only starter on the defense drafted in the top 2 rounds of the NFL draft. The narrative is there.
I understand the case against it of like, hey, he's the only guy they're going to game plan around him, but he's a game wrecking defensive lineman. I think it's still tough to game plan around a guy like Aaron Donald. And I just the fact that he decided to come back, I think he's got a little bit left in the tank. I think the narrative is there. Again, these awards are storyline driven. Like they want a good storyline to give to the award. So give me Aaron Donald, 25-1 defensive player of the year.
Unlike MVP and offensive player of the year, the voters like to give the same guy the defensive player of the year award. Like they don't have any problem saying you get it 3 years in a row, you get it 3 years in a row. I feel like on the offensive side, they're more likely to want to change it up and have that like voting attrition. So yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to say, you know what, one more time, let's give it to Aaron Donald, one of the best we've ever seen do it. For me, I'll go on the other side. Old Matty Stafford. Sean, do you remember what I don't recall what we talked about that. Like we didn't actually document it, but Stafford most passing yards.
Okay.
I want to say it was like 50-1 or maybe even more.
Well,
when we did the
team preview, I gave out some other stuff like Stafford MVP.
But listen to this.
I don't know.
It's down to 25-1.
Yeah.
And again,
it's going to be a ton of stuff. I mean, I gave out Cooper Kupp most catches as well. That was 6-1. It's now down to 5-1. Like they're just going to be.
Because people are remembering if this offense is right, and you know what the shocking thing, it seems like they finally have their running back, their Todd Gurley again in Cam Akers, as he's maybe been the most impressive offensive player in camp. I think you're also going to see maybe a slight emergence with some Van Jefferson, Tutu Atwell getting involved, but Matt Stafford's actually thrown for 5,000 yards before. People forget, so I like taking a stab at him, most passing yards. Hopefully you listened early. Because I'm pretty sure this was when we were kind of speculating, like, well, if it hits and Stafford does well, look at all these futures, 50-1, maybe even longer. But even at 25-1, again, he's still longer odds than I think a dozen quarterbacks, which I just not right. 25-1 Stafford most passing yards. All right, let's continue to climb up the ladder. Pete Carroll. I've heard since we broke down.
D Bettis coming in with some gossip. Come on, Sean. Stafford one step away from retirement. Again, I know the case is thin, but it's priced in. That's why we're getting 10-1. His teammates are pissed at him. Wife keeps running her mouth. There was a story about
don't read the tabloids, bro.
Well, the wife saying like he doesn't know how to talk to the younger players. They're calling him sir and looking at their phone. I don't know. That one that made no sense. I don't think that is actually causing. If anything, that's like a fun busting chops thing of like, oh, these young kids and they're always on their phone. They're calling him sir. They have a leader in the locker room, and it's priced like they have no chance to win the division at 10-1. That is just crazy to me, Ryan. It's crazy.
Well, let's reflect. Who was 10-1 last year? The Texans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they're going to be better than the Texans? Yes.
I would say that Stafford's a slight upgrade on Davis Mills. All right, so again, walking up the old win total ladder. So wait, so do we want to give the Rams an extra win because we need to start getting wins back?
You know what? Yeah, because screw everyone else. I'm all in on the Rams, and yeah, I'm gonna go 11-6 with the Rams. I like that, Ryan, because now I'm all balanced out. I like the rest of my. I do want to maybe save some heat for the NFC East, but Yeah, let's bump them up to 11-6. And while we're here, Underdog Fantasy, their pick'em, aka higher and lower. We got old Matty Stafford here.
Oh,
what do you like? So he's got his passing touchdowns are 22.5. Passing yards 3,700.5, interceptions 11.5. Which of those do you like the best?
I mean, I think you. So hard. Yeah, I would not do the interceptions because I think the old factor would scare me off of that more. That like, if he plays the whole season, is he a lock to throw 12 interceptions? No. If he plays the whole season, is he a lock to go over the other two things? Absolutely. Give me yards. The yardage one is way too low if he's healthy.
Okay, so yeah, give me. I'm with you. Give me higher on 3,700.5 passing yards for Matt Stafford. Of course, go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Promo code SGP. 100% deposit bonus up to $100.
I need to. Let's see. When do they play the Cardinals? Yeah, give me. I'm going to bump the Rams as well. They get. Yeah, let's bump them up in this quadrant here. I'll give them 1. So I'm still at a 1-win deficit, but I will get the Rams to 9-8.
Okay.
From 8-9. Nothing crazy. Still on the over. All right. Seattle 8.5 was the win total when we discussed it. You went over 9-8. I went over 10-7. I still like the over. I still like the position on the Seahawks. Nothing has gotten me to change my opinion at all this offseason. I guess the running back injuries were a little concerning, but sometimes we have to realize how zoomed in we are on some of this fucking training camp stuff. Seems like everything's full go for the regular season. JSN maybe comes along slower with the wrist injury, but I still like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, so I'm not worried there either. And the defense, Pete Carroll, this defense adding some weapons. A guy we said, Sean, all offseason we said who's going to perform right away.
Yeah,
kid out of Illinois, drafted number 6 overall with Witherspoon. So I think I like everything about this team. And the only thing to say is, well, we saw Gino. He tripped, he fell, he started sliding down the mountain, and he's still sliding.
Yeah,
down the mountain.
mean, I guess I haven't. I'm at an interesting place with the Seahawks team where I think people who are talking them as like a surprise team to win the NFC, to go on a bit of a run in the playoffs, that to me isn't factoring in that decline that we saw out of Geno Smith. So, but again, to your point, and again, why I was on the over of Seattle, their wins last season was because I do think they have a good infrastructure, right? Like they have Pete Carroll, they have a pretty good defense. He gets the most out of these guys. You know, Tariq Woolen, fun rookie cornerback. I think they draft pretty well. So it's hard to be completely out on them. I'm just gonna go over 8.5 wins because they feel like they feel like a 9-8 team. Like that sounds about right. But I'm not like any of the super high future stuff. The division, make a run in the AFC, even make playoffs. I'm out on that stuff.
NFC, and I like the division plus 230 all day.
You're on the division.
Yeah, I mean the price has gotten better if you're a buyer since we discussed. I don't know why. I guess people are more certain about the Brock Purdy situation. Again, when the regular season starts and he has elbow soreness after a week, don't come back saying that was surprising. I just like this team, and I don't think the roster is that far off the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, again, you have serious question at quarterback when you're running out. Again, a team that complained about not having a third quarterback last year. Now your first quarterback, very short recovery off of a serious elbow injury, and Sam Darnold, the guy who I think is a fun long shot case, but so yeah, do I like Seattle in that roster? Even if Geno isn't like the electric guy we saw the first half of last year, he's got weapons around him. The offensive line should be pretty good. The defense should be pretty good. I think Pete Carroll, this could be one of those. I've seen a lot of people make the case for Pete Carroll coach of the year. I don't agree with it, but I do think this could maybe be one of Pete Carroll's finest coaching jobs as Russ is crashing and burning in Denver.
They already got into the playoffs last year, so he would have to get them to be like 14-3 or something crazy.
That's why I don't like the case. Yeah. But I do think him having a great year coaching this team up means they're going to have a very good defense.
I think he's a good coach,
and they're going to be able to run the rock. He drafted another fucking running back because he said, "Screw you, your conventional wisdom. I want to run the fucking ball." And so I want to run the ball and throw big ass DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and JSN around. Dog. I think it works. I think it works.
Brian, for me, prop I like. Give me Geno Smith to have the most interceptions, 25-1. It just, you look at the second half of the year, he was falling off. He threw 11 interceptions last year. Again, that's right in the mix of most interceptions for the season, or sorry, like most interceptions in the league. And again, I think his leash is fairly long because they paid him. I think he would have to be really bad for them.
Who's the backup?
Drew Lock still, right?
Yeah.
So he
Drew
threw
lead pipe Locks.
So he threw one in the playoffs, 2 interceptions last game against the Rams, 0, then 1, then 0, then 2, then 1, then 1. I mean, like the first half of the season, he only had 3 interceptions when he was good Geno. Then bad Geno came to town. And I think people have figured out how to play Geno a little bit, and I like him to lead the league in interceptions. Well, he wrote 25-1.
That's the problem. He took all offseason writing back to all the letters that reached out to him. By the way, I was just trolling around in the division market. They still have Colt McCoy in the NFC West yardage one, so you could attack.
Wait, you can bet Colt McCoy most rush yards?
No, pass yards.
Oh, okay.
But they're still taking it. That's the electric aspect of what.
Well, who knows? Maybe he's Ryan. I mean, you're just assuming he's not going to get signed by the San Francisco 49ers. Colt McCoy in that system, he's a Kyle Shanahan guy. Next thing you know, he's dealing. What is the price that they're posting for Colt McCoy most passing yards?
22-1.
Wow. Well, thank God they didn't. Thank God that happened before, because I could have talked myself into. Listen, they're gonna be bad. You got to throw a bunch. Thank you, DraftKings, for.
Do you think
for leaving that up after the fact?
All right, so I wanted to ask you: if you were gonna back DK Metcalf this year, would you do it with touchdowns, or would you do it with yards or something else? Because I'm very much in on the idea that DK is due for some touchdown regression coming off a year.
Yeah, he has like a crazy amount of red zone targets, but he only had 6 touchdowns.
Over 7.5 touchdowns for DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Previous 2021 he had 12, 2020 he had 10. Last year seemed like the outlier at 6. Even his rookie year he had 7. They throw to him a ton in the red zone, and with the a little bit. Seattle dealing with a little bit of running back injuries. It doesn't seem like it's going to be too serious, but at least early on, you can see him getting a little bit more goal line stuff.
And I also think this team, I mean, we saw it last year. They went through stretches where their defense wasn't great. And I feel like that's a signature Pete Carroll thing. Like they'll have games where they don't look good early. And again, like Seattle showed last year they could play in shootouts. So I'll lean into DK. Feels a little bit like we're forgetting how awesome that guy. I think the second you see DK do something awesome, you're going to be back in on the Seahawks.
DK.
And you're going to be in on the Seahawks when Geno's slinging it all over the place. You're fucking guy, I love him.
No, I'm talking. I'm really talking myself into the Rams week 1.
All right.
Kaysen pointing out DK Metcalf. He pulled the number 28 red zone targets last year, 2nd in the league.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say there, if you're a regression guy, you probably like the over as well. And in fantasy, he's kind of drifted down to being a guy going in the 4th round now. So pay attention. San Francisco, Sean, your 49ers, the team that galvanized an entire league to add an extra quarterback spot, which by the way, I have the details on this. We were debating it in Las Vegas.
We were talking about it. Yeah.
So it's actually quite silly because modern NFL teams rarely keep a 3rd quarterback on their 53-man roster.
Yes.
And so in order to use this 3rd emergency quarterback has to be on the 53, but does not count towards the game day 48.
Okay.
So I'd like for someone to go. I would wonder if the 49ers are actually keeping a third active, or if it's a practice squad guy, because obviously you'd have to activate that person for game day in order. And maybe that will be the trick. We'll see teams activating for game day.
I think if I had to guess,
because you can call guys up and down a bunch.
Yeah, now. The 3rd quarterback will hang out on the practice squad and then be activated for game day, and then be in that spot.
I don't think that will be all teams.
Okay, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do it. But to your point, Ryan, if the 49ers do not take advantage of the rule they requested,
it's a real
fucking
punk ass bitch move from a bunch of punk ass bitches who are now getting credit for being so brave. Did you see how brave John Lynch was for admitting they were wrong?
John Lynch.
Well, this is sports. When you're wrong, you get lambasted.
Yeah.
You don't get, oh, great job.
Part of the journey.
So brave. You know what was brave? Being a dumbass and trading 3 picks for a guy who played 300 snaps in college at the FCS level. That's brave. 10.5 is their win total this year, Sean. Doesn't matter. The roster's so good. They don't have, doesn't matter. They don't have a quarterback. Roster's so good. Doesn't matter. We both went 10-7 like cowards. Suggesting they would go under, but they're still going to have a good team. Because when we looked at the schedule, it was hard to really get that upset with them. Sean,
you know what? I'm going to make an adjustment.
Do it.
No, I still am going under 10.5 wins.
Okay.
I'm at plus 125. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to knock them down. Yeah, I'm going to knock them down to 9-8. Feels right. I mean, just from what I've seen out of Brock Purdy, like they actually, you know what? We walked through the schedule. I'll keep them 10-7, but I'm just no, because it is tough. Like they have a really good defense. They have Christian McCaffrey. They have good skill players around Brock Purdy.
I don't know if have we talked about Nick Bosa? I know Katie said nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Has he showed up?
No. Will he play week 1? I mean, we're getting up against it right now.
There's talk about him. Like, could they potentially trade him?
I would be shocked. I mean, if you trade Bosa, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Do they not want to pay him?
I don't know what it's.
What happens if he doesn't play?
Like he's the best player in the league. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't just get this done with. Like, what are you waiting?
Why
for?
would you trade 3 picks for Trey Lance?
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
he's shook right now.
Their trading strategies are pretty rough. Benedict Dantold in the chat, Ryan, has a prop I'm sure you'll love. Darnold to lead the division in passing yards, 40-1.
That's fun.
Yeah,
I'd rather just go full send MVP. Because if he's on that team and they do well, like if he leads the league or he leads the division in passing and he has,
I'll say this. I mean,
Stafford and Geno are in the division. They're going to put up decent yardage numbers.
Well, and
I think Geno's is 3,900. Stafford is 3,600.
Yeah. What screws you is that Darnold would, since it's total passing yards, like Darnold would have to get in there almost right away. Right. Because even if he's playing okay,
he's not,
if
going
he misses it, like, let's say Purdy gets hurt or injured, even after 4 games, like the ground you have to make up at 40-1, probably not worth it.
MVP becomes more realistic at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe they start slow and he comes in and they fucking slay. Like I think narrative stuff. And remember, people really want to be nice to Sam Darnold. It's only been the environment that's caused him to suck. All right. Quote, they're not there yet. And I don't get the sense that they're close. So I don't get the sense anything is imminent. Sounds like they're talking, but sounds like they're very far apart. Reporting on Bosa. Bosa keeping himself in shape, not a big deal. He can show up practice, or he can show up week 1. That's fine, but nothing's imminent. And it looks like Bosa's looking for like a reset the market kind of deal.
Well, I mean, he should. Like,
well, I know.
He's really good.
And so it begs the question: does Bosa care enough about the team, like a Saquon Barkley showed he does, like a Josh Jacobs showed that he does?
I mean, I Josh Jacobs, shout out to him. Like he actually got, now it wasn't a ton of money, but he actually did get more money than the franchise tag. I thought they were going to buckle down and not give him that extra cash, but you know, kudos to him. He actually did get a little bit of a bump. It wasn't like a fake incentive bump that Saquon got. Ryan, if you had to guess right now, will Bosa be in uniform for week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh?
Has Chris Jones reported yet? I feel like there's going to be some weird dominoes, but these guys can't. All right. So Strahan did this to me once.
Yeah.
But it seemed pretty clear he just didn't want to deal with training camp because he was an old guy. They did go on to win the Super Bowl that year. If you remember, it was 2007. They were big, like 2 touchdown dogs to a undefeated team.
Don't remember that game.
Okay. So
it's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Yeah. I think there's a chance the deal doesn't get done with Bosa. Just again, the Niners beat reporters are all over the place. It's a very controversial place in social media, but some of these guys are saying like, "Hey, this might not happen." Which I don't know if they're just being drama queens.
Yeah. I mean, for me, the The prop I like. Give me Christian McCaffrey over 6.5 touchdowns. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to co-sign that with you. That's the one I had as well, and it just seems like I've used that.
Simple, but
I feel like I've recycled that a lot. But it just people don't remember how much. He's a passing back. He's a pass catching back. Like now that we're talking about contracts, everyone reminds you like, yeah, he can run to the slot. He can go out wide. But he also was mainly getting work on the ground with this Niners team last year. So I think he's going to get heavy usage. Heavy rushing yards, heavy rushing touchdowns, especially with Brock Purdy's sore elbow. All right, you want a fun player prop?
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm gonna do it just because I want to be on it when I'm right. Actually, you know what? Cross off my McCaffrey one. Sam Darnold MVP. I said I wanted to do this. It's 150 to 1 still. I'm not even high on the team. If I was gonna get like the team prop I would use is miss playoffs. Honestly.
Okay, what's the miss playoffs price?
Hold on, I switched over to a different tab. But
plus 360 miss playoffs. Is that correct?
Hold on, that's not the price I wrote down. It's almost like they did a wide sweeping update to the odds this morning because I'm even seeing some changes based on what I wrote down an hour ago. They are. Yeah, plus 360. Wow. Okay. It's plus 340 this morning.
You know what? I'm gonna copy that. That is the perfect. That's the Goldilocks bet. That is like the not too hot, not too cold, perfect amount of shade to toss at the San Francisco 49ers. Well, and when we did the original team preview, Trey Lance was still on the team.
You know what?
So.
I'm gonna take a win away. Take a win away.
You're gonna knock him down to 9 and 8.
It'll just work out later for my tiebreakers. Yeah, I mean, I think the reason, like, I think this boasted thing's concerning when you don't have a quarterback leader. You know what I mean? And when we find out what Brock Purdy did you already do it?
I updated it for you, Ryan.
Oh my goodness, you fucking elephant.
What do you mean? I went to the corresponding tab and updated it to 9 and 8.
No, it's
you
got to take a
IT's request.
You got to take a quadrant and now you've ruined the form.
Oh, okay.
I see. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, it's fine. It's fine. We can move past it. It's fine.
If you want to see the spreadsheet that Ryan's getting upset about, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Get all our bets in one convenient place. Perfect for the perfect for this time of year. And of course, the NFL win totals contest giving away $1,000. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon.
It's not perfect anymore.
Kramer, what division can the people look forward to next?
The North, the NFC North.
NFC North, fun division.
Fun fact: I think starting now, if you're watching in the live stream in YouTube, it's gonna not only will we tell you what's next, it's gonna just send you there, so you can hit that little bell. And you can get reminded again, 2-a-days. We have a couple more, today being one of them, Sean, Tuesday, August 29th. And shout out to the podcast gang. Cause I was checking the numbers. People are back.
Oh, what's up? Welcome back, podcast listeners. If
you're looking to get caught up, we have team previews. Go check those out. We have college previews. If you're into that, just scroll down. There's a lot of episodes for you to consume.
Yeah, and if you enjoy me railing on people who are pussies who leave 1-star review, check out last night's episode. Went full send again.
Hey, great time to refresh your review.
Also, listeners, you should be mad because he's making everyone look bad.
Yeah.
Downloading, enjoying all this free content and then spitting in the face. Like it's not even give a penny, take a penny. It's a $0 thing. No, it takes you 2 seconds.
It's take a penny all the time.
Yeah, this guy just takes the penny.
It's like well, you know what it is? Everyone has this. If you work in an office where like the drinks are free, everyone has that guy. Quick side story. We had this soda machine in our office when I was working for AT&T Yellow Pages, and you could just push the button and the soda would come out. No coins needed, no money needed. And there was this one guy that he'd wait to the end of the day when most everyone's left. I worked in IT, so I was grinding it out late, and you just hear him. You just hear them, dun, 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 and he would just take home like 20 of these soda cans. That's this motherfucker. Don't be a freeloader.
Don't be a freeloader. Again, that's what corporate gambling wants. Corporate gambling. Oh, hey, freeloaders. That's how we thrive. You just can imagine them sitting in their ivory towers.
Yeah.
Not us grinding it out, giving you 2 episodes a day.
Read a
Let's
little bit
fucking
of
go.
read a little bit about
Decide what side of the gambling civil war you want to be on. Have a good hard look in the mirror when you go home tonight after enjoying all this amazing content and go, did I do enough?
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
We need a wood engraved thing over the studio. Did I do enough? Boom.
Kramer, let it ride.